But now, should single people pay lower energy bills? 0207 862 2222 is the number that you need. More than 2 million households are not going to turn on their central heating this winter because of soaring energy bills. Now, those who live alone are most likely to leave the heating off. 1 in 10 single people plan to find alternative ways to keep warm. Now, the average household will spend about £1,755 a year on energy bills. Now, that's gone up by £35 under the latest cap. Now, Wilfred, people living on their own, should they get some special discount?
Of course they should. This is a crazy idea.
Shouldn't.
No, of course they shouldn't get a discount because you're single and you're living on your own. I mean, I would actually say it's probably cheaper because you don't have to use as much energy in your cooking, in your cleaning, in your washing machine. So I don't know how this idea has sort of come about. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Well, it's not cheaper. If you run a washing machine, it costs N amount of money, whether you're
It's going to be the same whether you're a single or...
It's going to be the same whether you're a single or... Yeah, even the programme. If I'm washing for my entire family, you know, one programme, it's the same. And, you know, heating one particular room, let's just say, a living room or something...
So you agree, then, that they should actually get single people...
I think people should be able to apply, you know, in terms of, you know, low income and situation. And, yes, I do think there should be... I do.
You're going to cause all these divorces, so it's going to be cheaper for people to split, you know, because they're going to have their energy.
Well, you could say it was cheaper to be together because you can snuggle up.
I just think it's a nonsense story.
I mean, if I lived with you, I'd snuggle against your velvet jacket.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that you'll snuggle up to me. But yes, I can't see how it can't see how it'd be fair. I could see that actually, if you're a couple, you would actually, rightly so, be cross about it, because why should you be penalised because you're a couple?
Why would you be cross if you have a sense of community, fairness, duty, compassion? Why would you not say, no, that's fair enough? Because let's say you're a single parent, man or woman, or raising a couple of young kids, taking them to school, working hard, etc. You may well be struggling, and lots of other people will be struggling in different ways, and lots of elderly people are in great difficulty.
Yeah, but I think everybody will want to support people that's struggling, and we've just been having this university credit story. But as a principle, the idea, because you are single, you pay a cheaper electricity is nonsense.
All right, nonsense from Wilfred. Yeah. Mary is for it.
I would just say I'm not in favour of, you know, supporting some trustafarian in a Notting Hill penthouse.
Sure, OK.
It has to be means-tested.
All right, well, look, don't go anywhere because we're going to be taking your calls on this after the break. But now we're asking if single people should have lower energy bills. Get your calls in now. Let's speak to Richard, who's waiting to talk to us from Edinburgh. Richard, welcome to the show. Do you think that single people should actually get some form of discount when it comes to heating their homes?
Yeah, actually, yes, I do. And I take it on a very simple basis that the arguments are always about how much money and profits and so on the energy companies are making. Yeah. And all we're really going to do is slightly reduce their profits for a perfectly good reason. So I completely support it.
But do you worry that it's going to be a very difficult thing to prove? What does it mean to be single? You might be single, but you might have someone else living with you. I'm assuming that wouldn't count because there's two of you sharing the bills. Is it going to be a very difficult thing to determine, Richard?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, we've got censuses and so on about what households are supposed to be and who's on the votes and the voting system and so on. But that's a perfectly valid question. I'm just simply saying that the energy companies make vast amounts of profit, so therefore anything that comes off that shouldn't be a problem.
Well, we should be careful. It's not your supplier that's making those vast profits. I think their margins are about 2 to 3%. It's actually the companies that are taking the natural resources out of the ground, your Shells, your BPs, all those, they're the ones that are actually profiting. But what about... Richard, would this open the door to say, well, OK, if you're going to give discounts to single occupancy, let's call it that, properties, how about giving discounts, well, we've been here before, to older people who are perhaps having on very low pensions? You know, the help for them, that's the winter fuel payment allowance. But is that going to be opening the door for other people to say, hey, what about us?
Hey, maybe me, actually. I'm about to become one of them.
What, pensioner?
I've just gone 66, so
Congratulations.
I'm still in work, but not for much longer.
Okay.
And what am I supposed to say? I'm trying to work out how long I'm going to live and how comfortable I'm going to be in the process. So I'm open to anything, even if I totally disagreed with it when I was younger and didn't care about it.
Yeah, it's funny how we change our minds later on in life. Richard, thank you for kicking us off. Angela's in Derbyshire. Angela, welcome to the show. Do you think that single occupancy, let's call it that, homes, should get a reduction in their energy bills?
I don't know. I live on my own, and for the last probably 3 years, I've not had my heating on, and that's been my choice due to the cost of it, I suppose, and also knowing that I can put layers on, and obviously you can control then, can't you, if you're hot or cold, and you can stay in one room. But I obviously have my hot water on still, but I'm also aware that my standing charge is more than what my actual bills are, and we pay for what we use anyway, and so I don't see how it would make a difference. You can turn radiators off in rooms, so I just don't see how it would benefit anything. I just think, like you say, it would lead on to other things where certain people will get it and other people won't, and I think, basically.
Angela, you've raised a really important issue of, there is a big debate to be had about standing charge. There is also a big debate on the levies that the government are putting on the price of electricity in particular, whilst at the same time asking people to move to electrify their heating and their transport. But you haven't had the heating on for 3 years. That must have been a struggle.
It's not longer, in fact, yeah. No, it hasn't, just because I generally would just stay in my room anyway because I'm disabled. So it's okay, you just blanket up. You get the heated blankets and you just put layers on, and it's okay. And I know it's just the way times are, isn't it? I'm so grateful for living in this country as it is, I feel like we're so privileged to be where we are, for what we've got and for what we have. And I just think it is what it is, And my electric company, I'm with Octopus, they're amazing. I'm not paying my gas, unfortunately. But, I think if my gas supply was a bit different, that might probably be different. But, I just think I'm just so grateful, really. But, So.
Angela, thank you. It's good to hear from you. I hope we get to speak again. I mean,
3 years without having electricity.
But let's. Do you think Angela feels like she's living in the 6th wealthiest country in the world?
No, I don't, and I think, Angela, I'm really admiring of your stoicism and your graciousness. And you're right, we do live in a country that has enormously. Hang on, things we need to be very grateful for. But I would say that for Angela and others, there are serious risks of going without heating. We haven't touched on this. I mean, let's get away from costs for a moment. There's a very interesting report called the Marmot Review. It's a little out of date now, 2011. It would be interesting to see what the figures are now. But when that was done in 2011, it was calculated that each centigrade degree reduction below 18 degrees centigrade in Britain had that winter been calculated to correspond with an extra 3,500 deaths. Now, when people are without heating, there's a higher risk of stroke, respiratory infection, falls, other injuries. You lose the ability. I mean, we all know when you get hypothermic, you can't move properly. Yeah. And these are serious things. It's not just about comfort.
Wilfred?
Well, what I was going to go on to say is this. Look, those are pretty staggering statistics, but you pointed out something which I think everybody should be concerned about, is that if you had something like this, it would be open to a massive amount of abuse in terms of if one person could say, right, they're going to have this allowance, they could then be having their mates to come in.
Not if it's properly regulated.
Well, you can't regulate something. You can. Like you then start saying, well, you've got to have people spying how many people you have in your house.
No, you can. In an efficient, humane society, you can.
Important to say that single occupancy, for example, does get a discount in other things like council tax. So we do have the ability to say, well, look, if you're living on your own, you're entitled to perhaps different things than if you have multiple occupancy. But I just thought that for someone like Angela, and it is a heartwarming conversation for someone who's like feels lucky and privileged. But, you know, we live in the 6th richest country in the world, and a disabled person's not being able to switch on the heating for 3 years. That can't be right.
But she said she chooses to.
Yeah, sure, but...
But that's for economic reasons.
For economic reasons, I suspect. Angela, thank you. I hope we get to speak again. Chris is in Bristol. Chris, welcome to the show. What are your thoughts? Do you think single occupancy houses should get a discount in their energy bills?
I was a bit surprised. No, I don't think they should, because I was a bit surprised because I'm single now. I claim universal credit and the low rate of PIP. Through health reasons, but I get £1,100 a month, and my gas and electric is £50 a month. Water is £37 a month. Now work that out. Unless you've got some type of addiction or a big car that takes a lot of petrol, I just can't understand why people who are single need a cut. Like is it Alfred said, we get enough cuts and discounts as it is. I don't pay rent.
£50 a month you pay for your gas and electricity?
Yes.
Including your standing charge?
Yeah, that's with over electric.
And you switch the heating on as normal?
I will switch my heating on whenever. If it's cold on, and that's another thing, mate. They scare the death out of people. If you put your heating on, you can't afford it. You're not going to go to prison. Stay warm, stay alive. But I'll put my heating on, and I can afford it.
Okay. All right, Chris.
There's no way I can't.
Go on, Chris. Finish up.
Yeah, there's no possible way. I cannot envisage someone that gets £1,100 a month can't pay their gas and electric, and they're scared. Half of them are scared to put their electric because they think they're going to go to prison like the poll tax years ago. Don't be scared. Keep warm.
Okay, Chris, I have to leave it there. Thank you for your calls. Thank you all for your calls and your messages. We're going to switch topic now and get your thoughts on this.